it's another cold one, -5, and I'm going back to the Belgium High Fens. Yeah, I was only there last week, but there's been snow, and I'm pretty sure with the snow on the ground, things are going to look very different. So I've got to be opportunistic, and I'm going to head back down there again and see what I can get. I think the weather looks like it's going to be blue skies again, sunshine, so I think I'll just get there after sunrise, maybe get there just before, it depends how the traffic is. But yeah, it's going to look amazing with the snow. I hope it's still there. It's just coming up to 8:30 and I've arrived, and there's loads of snow, and over here I've just parked. Beautiful pink sky. So I'm really going to get a shove on now, because I don't think I'm going to have much time to get that colour. I think once the sun comes up, that colour is going to go pretty quick. So I'm going to hike out into the snow on basically the west side of the fens this morning, and once I get set up, I'll basically do a piece to camera and show you what I'm doing. But yeah, it's looking really good. Very excited about getting out there. So there's still some colour in the sky, and interestingly, when I arrived, seems to be a flurry of photographers, which is a good sign. It means that a lot of people have looked at the forecast. But yeah, conditions are looking fantastic. Now, got to walk really quick, see if I can get my first composition. And I keep looking to the left because I'm looking at that sky. The faster the sun comes up, I think that colour is going to disappear pretty quick. So I want to get my composition sorted and get my first image. So I've got my first composition, I'm set up. It was a bit of a race against time because I wanted to get that colour, and it is fading, so I see there's a bit of colour on the opposite side to where the sun's rising, so I'm going to point my camera in that direction for the second composition. But I've got a polariser on and a soft grad just for the sky. We've got two beautiful trees that are iced up in the foreground. That's going to be my first image, quite simple. Today I'm shooting with the FZ2000. For those of you that watched my previous video, the autumnal walk, that's the camera I used, and I decided that today with these winter conditions I'm going to give it a try. But yeah, it's looking good. It's absolutely freezing though. It's -12, and even with my gloves my hands are freezing up, so it's going to be a challenge to stay warm. So I'm just going to show you this tree that's in front of me. It's not the tree that I'm taking a photo of, but just look at this. Look at this ice. Unbelievable. I've never seen that in Belgium before. Ice wrapped around the tree. So yeah, I'm going to try and get another composition with this. The sun's popping up before I head over to the other side, because I think it's worth having a look. Again, just getting more intimate with some of the subjects that you have in the composition can make for pretty compelling imagery. As the sun's coming up above the tree line, it's casting more light onto these ice branches. So I've actually just been working my way along this path here and trying to get a little bit more intimate with some of those ice branches as the light comes through. And this bunch of trees just over here is very, very interesting, because you've got one that's arched over with the weight of the ice, and then you've got really beautiful golden light coming in, reflecting on those ice crystals on the branches as well. So it's actually quite a challenge to compose, but I think I've got a couple of good shots. So now the sun's come up, I'm heading further into the fens, and actually there's, how do I describe this? There's still quite a part of the valley that's in shade, and the sun's coming through here, so I'm going to try and play a little bit with compositions between the shadow in the valley and some of the light in the foreground. So I think I mentioned in my other videos that the Fens is the highest point in Belgium, and it's very, very flat, and it's quite barren. Actually, you have these moorlands, you have these bogs and these grasses, and of course with the snow today we can't see any of that. But apart from that, you've just got these trees that are scattered on the landscape, and that makes it so challenging. It makes it even more challenging in the snow, because you're trying to find some subjects, some anchor points for the composition to really make them pop, and that's not easy. So yeah, I'm still going to continue further down here, again trying to anticipate the direction in which the light's going to come up. And unfortunately this side there's a fence line which is making compositions a little bit difficult, but I've got a couple of good images I'm really happy with today. The light couldn't have been better. In fact, it's better today than it was a week ago when I was here. The light was extremely warm, very orange, and today it's that real winter light, that cold light, almost like a pure light, and that really complements this reflection that you get on the white of the snow. Lots of photographers will tell you never shoot directly in the sun, and I actually disagree with that. I think in certain conditions you can shoot directly in the sun, certainly because I come from a background in wildlife photography. We use the sun a lot to create silhouettes with our subjects, and that's kind of what I'm doing here. I've got this tree on the left and the sun coming up over the tree line, and you've got this beautiful reflection on the snow with the light. So I'm just playing with my exposures here, just looking at underexposing and seeing if I can create a silhouette, bring back some of the highlights in the sky and see if I can get a good image from it. But yeah, I would always recommend, yeah, try it, don't be put off. It's always good to test your own limits in photography, and yeah, get guidance from others that have more experience than you. But certainly the photography that continues to advocate not shooting directly in the sun, I personally don't agree with. I think you can get some really good images from shooting into the sun. I've underexposed by about 1 1/3 stops, and I'm at f10. And my shutter speed's at 200, and it's looking not too bad. Getting nice reflection on the snow, silhouette. I've left my grad filter on there, and the bottom of the tree I'm getting some reflection as well, which is nice. I think that accentuates the fact that the sun is very low in the sky, being winter. And yeah, the reflection's coming through really nicely now on the snow. And I think I said before, with the FZ2000 and with my GH4 that I use, I don't have remotes, so I use the timer. It just helps reduce shutter shake, and when I move away from the camera, I'm not going to get any out of focus edges. I've had some comments as well on my YouTube videos before about this strap. Why do I leave straps on? Yeah, I'm a bit lazy, I'll admit that. Again, I'm primarily a wildlife photographer. 70% of what I do is wildlife, 30% is landscapes. And so I typically leave the straps on, because when I do wildlife photography I throw them over my neck, or I wrap them around my wrist depending on the size of the lens that I have. So I always like to have a strap on. And for those of you that have asked, it does not affect the camera shake at all. These are such lightweight cameras, it's really not an issue. So yeah, I'm still hiking down the trail here, and I've just come to an area where there's water. Looks like a drainage line of some sort that's down here. Let me show you. And what's interesting is that there are footprints in a circle here, and they're not human footprints. They are, I'm guessing, probably either they're a bit too big to be a wildcat, so they're probably a roe deer. I'm guessing a roe deer. But I'm actually going to compose here. I'm going to get this as a nice image. The water's frozen. It's in shadow. I'm going to do a portrait orientation. I'm going to use the paw prints as a leading line to the water. Obviously the animals come down here to try and get some water, but it's actually really impressive because here it's completely iced over and you can see the stones underneath the water. I'll just show you that on camera now. So yeah, I've had to get really low down in the snow. This is why you have a really good pair of waterproofs on when you come out. You can get down low without getting wet afterwards. And I've got the animal tracks in the foreground here, and then I've got the ice. So my polarizer's there really to try to bring the darkness out in that ice. And I haven't zoomed completely in. I've given myself some room in the frame. I've got some trees in the background and a little bit of the sky. I've removed the ND grad because the sky's looking okay. There aren't that too many highlights. And yeah, it's looking like a good image. I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, image done. Very happy. I found a composition I'm really happy with. As I was walking down the trail, I just caught my eye to the left. There were two bushes with snow, and there's a tree. So you've kind of got these contours of the snow acting as a leading line to a tree slightly down the valley. And I'm going to try a couple of things here. It's interesting, as I started to set up the camera, I recognised again that I'm shooting landscape images in portrait orientation. I seem to be doing a lot of that right now. It's probably because I'm focusing a lot on woodland photography and on trees and so on. But there's nothing wrong with that. The sun's quite strong. We've got cloud in the background, and so I put a soft grad on, but I'm actually going to put my settings so that I can do a black and white conversion in Lightroom later on. So I'm going to overexpose and I'm going to run a couple of shots off at different exposure compensations, so maybe 2/3, a stop and a third over, so that when I convert it I can actually play on the shadows on those contours of the snow, and it'll also help balance out the composition with the sky being quite overcast right now. The sun is behind me here. It's actually, as I've been walking this morning, it's been following me on the horizon. It hasn't actually risen too high, so it's casting a lot of shadows, and that's something that you have to pay attention to. But this is going to be a really nice image. It's probably going to be the image of the day. I'm really happy with this. It's got a lot of interest to it. back at the car now. It was about a 5 kilometer walk, took me about 40 minutes, so that was a good pace. And it's a gorgeous day, blue sky, sunshine. A lot of families now, we're still in the school holidays here. We're right on the border between Belgium, the Netherlands and Germany, so a lot of families out. It got very, very busy down the bottom of the track. And yeah, a lot of sledging. There's a lot of cross-country skiers as well, so it's really given me a sense of a winter atmosphere. It's been a real joy to get out with the camera today. So yeah, I've got my essentials. I've got my rusks and a hot flask of coffee, so I'm going to drink those now and then I'm going to get on the road and head back home. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, feel free to leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, and there'll be more videos during the year. So yeah, please feel free to check back into my channel and you can come along with me on my photographic journey. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.